York Knicks at forward from Virginia Union, 6'9", Charles Oakley. A 6'8" forward from Wichita State, Xavier McDaniel. At center, 7 foot from Georgetown, Patrick Ewing. At one guard from St. John's, 6'3", Mark Jackson. At the other guard, 6'6", from Tennessee, Chattanooga, Gerald Wilkins. The New York Knicks are coached by Pat Riley.
Series of flagrant fouls during the playoffs. The Knicks have ranked first in the league with 7 flagrants, 5 in this series alone.
On the jump ball situation, New York uses a very wide set. Ewing tries to tip straight ahead to Charles Oakley, and then they fly the X-Man and Gerald Wilkins trying to get a fast break right from the opening tap. There's their wide set.
Patrick Ewing, who says the sprained ankle is fine, going against Bill Cartwright, and Horace Grant, after adjusting the goggles, able to control the opening kick. Grant played by Oakley. Cartwright turning on Ewing, looking to go right at him. Here's Pippen on the penetration, finding Grant, and he blew the layup. Cartwright with the save. Jordan with the step, and he's fouled.
Well, we've seen the aggressiveness right from the start by the Chicago Bulls. Michael saying no jumpers to start out with. Take the ball to the rim. Pippen took it to the rim, and the Bulls started out offensively like they like to do every game. Get it into Cartwright, see if the postman can score first, and obviously try to pick up an early foul versus Patrick Ewing.
The first 2 possessions, statement time. We're coming down the lane. We don't care how hard you foul.
The foul committed by Charles Oakley. Michael Jordan, 45 minutes, Game 6 in New York, Thursday, only 9 for 25, 21 points. And Magic looks to be worn down. Certainly the Knicks defensive effort, the fact they played him so physically, has contributed to that, but he does not look to be himself.
The minutes are taking a toll on him. The aggressive stolen.
The aggressive play once again off that steal. Wilkins with a 3-on-1. Served up a facial on Bill Cartwright.
Well, both teams saying something there. Chicago we're going to press, New York we're going to attack.
Back to that point of Michael Jordan, the minutes have really weighed heavy on him, but also the physical play of New York has taken its toll too. The best thing that happened for the Chicago Bulls is they had 2 days to rest.
So the Bulls lead 4-2.
After scores, Chicago tries to get Grant up on the basketball to slow down the entry pass. They don't want New York getting up the floor quickly.
Ewing connects on his first field goal attempt, and the game is tied. 4.
We're talking to Michael Jordan before the game. He said, Michael, some games you come out and get the teammates involved. Other days you try to get involved. It looks like today he's getting involved early.
Mike, we can't wait. We can't wait. This is game 7. We can't wait on the season.
Wilkins for 3. Gerald Wilkins in this playoff series has been hitting the outside shot. That is not the case during the course of the regular season. The Knicks with a 7-4 advantage, and the Knicks have opened up by hitting their first 3 shots. Here is Jordan. So the Knicks lead is 1.
Again, Chicago are trying to get the ball out of their point guard's hands. Mark Jackson, give it to somebody else. Let them get it up the floor, but don't let Jackson start the half-court offense.
The Bulls' pressure has bothered the Knicks. They'll turn it on and off during the course of the game. Now Pippen starts back. Pippen. Chicago by 1.
That's that middle portion of Chicago's transition game. The first big man down the floor, posting up quickly.
Xavier McDaniel has had a sensational playoff. Now being guarded by Horace Grant. The clock running down. Jackson. And the Knicks lead 9-8.
You know what, Bob? Usually the first quarter is important for the visiting team. But I believe today the first quarter is important for the Chicago Bulls to get off to a good start.
Fouled by McDaniel.
A few moments ago, Scottie Pippen coming down in the transition game. The size and the ability to put it on the floor, create off the dribble, find an open teammate under the basket. That's why he led this team for the season in assists.
Cartwright has had his difficulties at the foul line in the earliest stages of his career. A solid free throw shooter, but he has dropped off in recent years. He's tied the game at 9, and there's no question that the Bulls are looking to get Cartwright going earlier. That is their usual philosophy, but today even more so as they want to test Patrick Ewing.
Exactly. They want to get Patrick Ewing into foul trouble because they know once they get him on the bench, their job and their game will be a lot easier.
So the Knicks and the Bulls tied at 9, 3.5 gone by. Ewing from Oakley. There's Pippen. The Bulls 11 and the Knicks 9.
He even went coast to coast twice now. I don't think that ankle was bothering him one bit.
Oakley kept alive by McDaniel, and he's rejected. This game has opened at a furious pace.
Well, this is probably the fastest game in terms of in the first 4 or 5 minutes in the actual all the other 6 games. The pace is really quick.
Here's Ewing. He's fouled by Cartwright. Cartwright, so that is his first personal that sends Ewing to the line.
Pippen has that rare ability to take it off the glass, lead the fast break, and then, if there's no decision, finish it at the end. Also, let's not look past the fact that pretty good defender comes from the blind side, gets the block versus the X-Man.
Patrick Ewing averaging 22 points in the series, although he has had his ups and downs. And the same for his work at the free throw line as he connects on 1 of 2, so the Knicks trail 11-10. second round in 1973 when they won it all against the Los Angeles Lakers. Bulls 13 and the Knicks 10. Fast start for Michael Jordan. He's hit 3 out of 4. He has 8 points.
And that was a little wrinkle that the Bulls have added now. Baseline screen by Cartwright to free up Jordan.
Cartwright with the box out. Jordan with the spin and the bucket. The Bulls lead 15-10. And the Knicks call for time.
It became mentally draining for everybody to gear yourself up for the games.
You know what happens is superstars rise to the occasion. Yes, he was tired. He probably still tired today. But this is his time, 7th game.
McDaniel had a fire with the shot clock running down. The Knicks have missed their last 6 field goal attempts.
One of the most discouraging things to come out of a timeout when you're trying to regroup, you set something up, and all of a sudden you're facing 1 second left on the 24-second clock, and you have to hoist one up just to get it off.
The Bulls, in contrast, have hit their last 5. They lead 15-10, 6:35 remaining in the first quarter. Jordan does not like the hand check from Wilkins. A foul call. Now let's go to Ahmad Rashad for this report.
I like Marv during that last timeout. Pat Riley and his team were very calm and collected and calculating. And Paul Silas told me before the game that they expected the Bulls to come out and have a big wave of offense in the first quarter. If they could withstand that, then they'd have a chance to win the game. Mark?
Well, Ahmad, we're seeing that wave in Chicago in the midst of an 11-3 run, and you can see the tone of the Bulls is quite different here at the start. Mike, they're taking it to the basket instead of pulling up. On the turnover, Knicks have a 3-on-2.
No question. People have been saying that the physicalness of New York has made Chicago shy away from taking it to the rim. 5 times all the way to the rim so far in this game. Only once a pull-up jumper.
Here's Dixon with the pull-up. Into his second field goal. The Bulls 15 and the Knicks 12. Setting the screen. Pippen for Grant. Played by Ewing. Now Pippen with the room. That may be a bad sign for the Knicks. Scottie Pippen hitting the jump shot. McDaniel. Yes. And Xavier McDaniel with his first field goal. The Bulls 17 and the Knicks 14.
Well, yesterday in practice, Pippen didn't do very much as far as physical work, but he took almost 200 shots trying to get that stroke back.
A reaching foul called. That's number 2 on Wilkins. And it will send John Starks into the game early. Pat Riley looking down the bench. Darryl Wilkins has played Michael Jordan extremely well, and he will head to the bench. John Starks not a popular figure here in Chicago off that flagrant foul against Scottie Pippen late in the third quarter on Thursday.
I think John Starks is the type of player who loves that, though. He loves to be booed. He wants that because it makes him not have to play harder, and it brings out the best possible player in him. You'll see that today. He's going to be firing it up just like it was a normal game. He don't care about being booed.
Yeah, and we talk about Patrick Ewing. This might be the key person, John Starks for New York. In their 3 wins, he's averaged over 18 points a game. In the 3 losses, just over 7 points per game. If he's firing and making shots, it's a different Knicks team.
Bulls go to the pressure. There's Ewing with the drop step. And it's rebounded by Pippen. Bulls on the run. Jackson three. Rebounded by Jordan. Grant. Now the Bulls all over the board. They lead 21-14. This starts for 3. John Starks gets right to it.
I told you he's said, come on, boo me, baby, boo me, because I'm going to set you up with this three-point shot.
Riley refers to John Starks as feast or famine. Michael Jordan on fire. 5 out of 6. He has 14 points. John Starks has gone hot and cold during the course of the playoff that goes back to the series against Detroit. He had a hot one the other night. Jackson was hit. John Starks in the 3 Knicks victories, shooting 51%, averaging 18 a game. However, in the 3 losses, you can see how he has gone the other way. Anthony Mason, who has played well in this series, has come on for the first time this afternoon. We're down to 4 minutes remaining. First quarter. Jackson with the step, with the reflection.
Actually, Chicago leads New York in block shots in this series. They get it from 3 guys, Jordan, Pippen, and Grant.
Foul on Starks as Jordan cut right, and Starks called for the hold.
Jackson will continue to go after Paxson. Therefore, the other Bulls must step up and cover for John Paxson. Mark Jackson, a little quicker, has the ability to get by him off the dribble. When you have guys behind you with that type of athleticism and the quickness to get over there, they protect the rim.
You know, to me, it looked like Michael is saying, hey, I must shoot at least 25 to 30 shots today. This has been the most aggressive of any of the games, all 6 of the games that Michael has been. I mean, from the beginning of the track to now. So it looked like he's going to take the weight on his shoulder right now.
Right, he is not taking the passive route, as he indicated was a possibility. In order to get everybody involved. Michael Jordan, though, has had some strong first hands in this series. Mason is tripped up by Cartwright away from the ball. McDaniel and Pippen are having words. Jake O'Donnell separates the two.
The body's down low, working to get the little hole, the grab, the push, the shove, and this is what Jake O'Donnell is trying to clear up right away. Talking to both players, knock it off, we won't stand for that.
You got the 3 best referees. I mean, they're not going to stand for any of this challenge.
Ewing able to cut that Chicago lead to 25-19. 3:20 remaining in the first quarter.
As Ahmad said a short while ago, New York just wants to stay close enough in this first quarter so that the Bulls don't pull away too far and then get back in the game.
Horace Grant, off to a terrific start. He's done it on the boards. He's done it offensively. 3 field goals, 6 points. Bulls 27. The Knicks 19. Daniel posting up and faces up. Called for offensive foul. That's number 2 on the X-Man.
Scottie Pippen, and he's starting to feel the pressure that everybody telling him to step up and be ready to play. He was so focused yesterday that he would not be intimidated. He said he'll be driving the basket like the Pippen of old, and you can see he's ready to play. Mark?
The Bulls have been ready here at the start. They lead 27-19. Starks with the steal. Ron Starks spent all day on Wednesday shooting the jump shot. He said he took about 300 shots, and he credits assistant coach Jeff Van Gundy for an adjustment in his release, which turned things on Thursday night. Shot clock at 3 as Mark Jackson hits on his 3rd field goal. Starks saying that the ball was resting too much on the palm of his hands, and he made that adjustment. Meanwhile, Pippen is hit hard, and he'll go to the line.
Let me say this. Scottie Pippen, for the first time, is taking the challenge. He's not stepping backwards. Right here, he goes to the hole. He's saying, okay, I'm going to challenge everybody. I don't care. You can throw me down, knock me down. Hey, I'm ready to play today. For the first time, I see him going forward instead of going backwards.
Magic, of course, your Laker club of recent years was more of a finesse team, but when you went up against the Bulls last season, was the same philosophy intact that if you can get to Pippen early and hit him hard, that you might take him out of the game?
Well, we wanted to do that, but we didn't have the type of players that could do that. New York, that's their style because they have the type of players with that mentality that can do that.
Is there the feeling that he can be intimidated?
Well, that's the feeling that you want to play him physical. Push him around because he doesn't like the physical game.
Patrick Ewing coming into a 5-point Chicago lead. A minute and 40 remaining in the first quarter. Here's Cartwright to the fadeaway. Way off.
Bill trying to use the 24-second clock for a little added edge there, backing it off the clock.
Mason is fouled. So Anthony Mason will go to the line. Foul shot to John Sexton. B.J. Armstrong will check in along with Cliff Livingston.
You know, Coach, Chicago has gone to a different strategy than any of the other games. They're posting up Michael more than trying to get him out on a 1-4 type situation because they feel he can take the smaller guys and Wilkins and Starks.
In the other games, they got him down in there, but later on in the game, as you're mentioning, they're doing it right from the beginning here, and using a little baseline screen by the 5-man because Ewing's not going to switch off on him to help free him up flashing in there. Normally, they just send him on his own, try to flash him into the post.
You can see that both coaches have made slight changes in their offense to free up different guys.
The spike is early flowing by the Bulls. The Knicks able to hang in. That's been the story throughout the series. The Bulls now lead by 3. Jordan through the foul. Oh, what a move by Michael Jordan, who has come out and hit 5 out of 7 from the field, 6 for 6 from the line for 16 points. The foul called on Starks.
Well, if you let Michael Jordan get to the paint, and this is one of the things that Ryan and the Knicks were focusing on, keep him out of that paint area. Everybody else, besides the man guarding him, pay special attention. When he puts it down, come and get him.
But Marv, like you were saying, the Knicks, hey, they can feel good right now. They're only down 3 points. Chicago has been in the penalty for the last, since 5 minutes on to the end of this quarter. So, hey, if they can go down only 3.5 points at the end of this quarter, they've done a wonderful job.
And it's now a 4-point Chicago lead. Michael Jordan has had the hot hand during the course of the first half of this series, but you can see in the second half only 27 for 71, 38%. Had a 3 for 14 in the second half in New York on Thursday. Light pressure being shown on the Bulls.
And the Bulls have used 2 of their traps already. The full-court one up on the ball and the 3-quarter one, once they get it in, they still are holding back the half-court trap.
Shot clock at 8. Ewing. Rebound Oakley. And a jarred loose. And Ed Rush with the call saying last cut by the Knicks. Knicks were looking for a jump ball at the very least.
I don't know how you make that call. You got 2 guys rolling all over the floor, diving for loose balls, and loose balls may, in the end, be the difference in this game. Oakley, Livingston, the rest of the players coming in after it now. First one that touches it, that touches the out-of-bounds line, that's how they're going to call it.
Yeah, I think that what he said that Mason had his foot out of bounds when he touched the ball, so that made it Chicago ball.
Jordan given room and was surprised.
It's the most room Michael Jordan's had in about 2.5 weeks.
It was too easy. It was too easy.
25 seconds in the corner. Ewing feeling the contact. But Patrick Ewing has been off. 3 for 7 for Ewing. Starks with the steal. Starks out of control with the dribble. Able to recapture. Final seconds of the first quarter. That pass intended for Starks. Here's Ewing to the fadeaway. So that's the end of one here in Chicago. Michael Jordan has been the spark. Jordan with 18 points in this first quarter. It is awfully tough to repeat In the NBA, a Chicago Bulls team that won 67 and lost 15 during the regular season, trying to make it 2 in a row.
Well, I guess if there's anybody that you know about how difficult it is to get a back-to-back championship, it's our guy Magic here.
It took us 3 7-game series to win the back-to-back championship. And it might take that for the Chicago Bulls, you know, but they got enough to worry about right here with the Knicks.
John Scott continuing his strong play. The Bulls lead by 3 as we get underway in the second quarter. P.J. Armstrong being guarded by Mike Jackson. Illegal defense called on the Knicks. Bill Cartwright was requesting the call and was upset, and he finally got it from Hugh Holland.
Well, Oakley had went over and double team and didn't get back. You know, after the team that's leading in the first quarter has won all 6 games. Are you kidding me? Wow.
Winning that first quarter pretty good so far.
Really? So that means Chicago going to win today?
You want to go home now?
For Michael Jordan, 20 points for Jordan. The Bulls lead 32-27. Once again, the Bulls trap. Ewing is fouled.
Cliff Livingston, anticipating the pass to the post, just stood there as his man cut through, waited for Patrick Ewing to turn back to the baseline side. All of a sudden, he was in a double team, and probably the quickest one he's seen in a long time.
You know what? What it looked like to me is that Patrick Ewing can run straight up and down, but when he tries to get the lift for the baseline jumper, he's not getting it. You know, you have to get lift when you shoot the turnaround jumper like he does, and today he's not getting the lift on his shot, and it seems like that ankle is not giving him that push that he needs to get a shot, because everything is going short on his shot, and that's what tells us when you're not getting the lift.
Ewing does not have a rebound, so that may be another telling point. He suffered a sprain left ankle in Game 6. It's called a moderate sprain. The foul called on Greg Anthony, the rookie from Nevada, Las Vegas, checking in a moment ago. Anthony has been very effective against the Chicago pressure, and undoubtedly that's why Pat Riley has him in there. Mike Jackson sitting down. Now Patrick Ewing will get a rest. Xavier McDaniel has returned, so Charles Oakley moves over to the center position.
And after Cliff Livingston first warned the official as Greg Anthony ran into his first screen in the backcourt, and then when he did it again, the whistle blew.
Yes, here it comes. Picks up his second. Michael Jordan has taken over this game. He has 22 points. The Bulls now lead by 5.
And you can see the special attention that Jordan draws. 3 Knicks waiting for him in the lane, but when he gets that deep, the way he can elevate with his tremendous concentration, and there is no question that with the 2 days rest, he has come out here today. He is a different looking Michael Jordan than the one that we saw in Game 6.
The Bulls 35, the Knicks 29. Here's pressure again by Chicago. Now they drop back.
Now, Magic mentioned earlier that the 2 days off from both teams was the big blessing. The first 6 games of this series played in 10 days, a very short period of time.
Yes, Xavier McDaniel with a good move, his second field goal. And the Knicks trail the Bulls by 4.
With Patrick Ewing on the bench, look for the Knicks to go to McDaniel, also Mason and Stott to do most of the shooting out on that basketball court.
Off the turnover, Mason starts back. Mason picked up by Scott Williams, who just checked in.
What you had there was a player trying to do something that's not his strength. Cliff Livingston does not elevate and drop down passes at the last second. Michael Jordan and Pippen do those things.
McDaniel, rebounded by Williams. Pippen's pass picked off by Starks.
John Stott has made 2 big steals so far in this game.
And Starks with 7 points. And he has brought the Knicks within 2.
Marv, he stole it when they had a 3-on-1 Michael Jordan in the first quarter. This time they had a 2-on-1. He come up with another big steal. Boy, he can do it on both ends of the court.
Jordan had it knocked away, recovered by Armstrong. A.J. Armstrong came up very big here in Chicago with 18 points off the bench earlier in the series. Armstrong for Pippen. The Bulls 49 and the Knicks 33.
See, Greg Anthony, when he's double-teamed, he cannot make that pass because he's too little to make that cross-court pass like he tried to do then.
Blocking foul on Scott Williams. And a timeout has been called by the Bulls. 8:40 to go in this first half. Yes. Well, Ahmad, I know you enjoyed the moment.
And what a moment it was. That was my highlight, shooting that jumper, but I got a chance to see up close just how powerful this young man is. But Magic taught me how to play, and that's the reason I got that jump down in.
I see.
But the score was 1-1. That's all I know.
Here's Scott Williams. Scott Williams showing the outside cut. Bulls lead 41-33. Magic, I know that you have been working out from time to time with Shaquille O'Neal.
Very impressed with him, especially how strong he is and his footwork. He's really a young man that somebody's going to be very happy drafting. He's going to be a superstar in our league.
Oakley, the line was hit by Williams. You won the lottery, and there's Alonzo Mourning, who will certainly be among the first to be selected. If your club won the lottery, you're in charge. Who do you take?
Shaquille O'Neal, without a doubt. I think anybody would be happy with Alonzo Mourning and Christian Laettner. Those are the first 3 draft choices. And Jimmy Jackson, it depends too. But this is the deepest draft it's been for years.
With both of these teams having their reserve players on the floor right now for significant minutes, obviously the productivity becomes so important. Pat Riley a number of times has said when that combination of Anthony, Mason, and Starks, he said sometimes it's feast, sometimes it's famine with those 3. And that's what you have to, play your way through it, see what happens, and then substitute accordingly.
Pat Riley has gone basically with an 8-man rotation. We've seen very little of Kiki Vandeweghe during this series. Look, Livingston wide open, crowd reacting. Williams not looking that way. Shot clock to 3, Hodges to 3. Greg Hodges, the three-point specialist, has been a factor in this series. Chicago has hit its last 6 from the floor. Overall, 16 of 23. They've had a red-hot first half. Here's Wilkins, who just returned. Traveling, violation.
See on that last shot, that last 3-pointer by Craig Hodges, Wilkins forgot who he was guarding. He was guarding Hodges. He left to stop the penetration by Armstrong, and that left Hodges wide open. You don't do that. You let the big man take care of BJ, not Wilkins.
That's why there must be constant communication when substitutions take place during the game, so everybody understands what they have to do.
Biggest lead of the game. Chicago up by 9. 6:50 to go. First half. Here's Anthony. Rebound McDaniel. McDaniel with a good second effort. Bulls 44 and the Knicks 37. The winner of this game, the 7th and final game of the series, will face the Cleveland Cavaliers for the conference championship. Cleveland knocking off Boston earlier today.
Most professional and selfish and disliked team in the league, and I think we finally accomplished the last point.
Most disliked team in the league. That because of the sledgehammer image this club has suddenly garnered because of their physical play.
Not only that, though, because they play good defense. See, teams don't like to play teams that play good defense. Now, they were always playing good defense during the regular season, but now the hard foul just came in the playoffs. So teams just don't like to play you because they have to work to beat you.
Here's Mason with the box out, and he draws the foul. Anthony Mason will go to the line. You can see how the Knicks done it at the defensive end. They were number 2 behind Detroit during the regular season, allowing just under 98 per game. But then against the Pistons, allowed just under 85. And this series, they have stopped the high-flying Chicago Bulls over the first 6 games, allowing just under 90 per game.
Well, they've accomplished all the mini goals that Pat Riley has set up for this team in this series versus Chicago. One of which was reduce the number of shots, keep the offensive rebounds down, stop the transition game by the Bulls, and they've done it effectively.
It's the Bulls 44, and the Knicks 39. Michael Jordan has been the story in the first half. He has 23 points. Here's Hodges on a quick relief. It's a 2-point shot for Craig Hodges.
Another mistake by one of the Knicks players. You cannot go up under the pick on Craig Hodges. You got to go over the top and make him drive to the basket. He doesn't want to drive, and he won't drive.
It's touched by Pippen. Knicks will maintain possession. Meanwhile, offensively, Patrick Ewing has not been able to get into it. Only 3 for 9 from the field, 3 out of 4 from the line. He has 9 points. Holding foul called on the Bulls.
Whether you are in Chicago or New York, if you decide you're running a pick and roll, those centers, and you involve your center, obviously, in the play, those centers defensively, they don't jump out half-heartedly. They're jumping out hard. There's a wall there when you come off that thing, trying to discourage the guards from turning the corner, getting in the lane area.
Chicago now being hurt by the fouls. They've got over the limit. It's 9 for 10 from the line. 5:38 remaining in this first half. The Bulls lead by 6.
It's talking about fair play. In the first quarter, Chicago was in the penalty at about the same time, 5 minutes to go to the quarter. Now New York has the penalty going their way, 5 minutes to halftime.
The Knicks with only 2 team fouls. Trying to go the reverse. Mason getting position, but facing the double team, and he's tied up. Good defensive play by Chicago and doubling up on Anthony Mason.
Now, since this jump ball will be under the New York basket, and the loss of the ball right there enables Chicago to get back, recover, and force the jump. You have to cover shoulders under the basket and cover Ewing on both sides, left and right. No layup on the tip.
Wilkins picked off by Grant. Jordan. Michael Jordan, 25 points. He's at 8 of 11. Bulls 48. Knicks 41. Wilkins and Anthony now at the backcourt. Ewing up front with McDaniel and Mason. Here's Wilkins for 3. Back from Pippen. Hodges from downtown. Pippen had it knocked away. It'll be Chicago ball.
Magic, pretty soon they're going to start listening to you about leaving Hodges alone out there. Remember what he can do.
Well, that time the defense went back up under the paint to guard the basket and left Craig Hodges wide open. And he, for the first time in this game, or in this series, he rushed the shot. He rushed it that time on the 3-pointer.
Jackson is back to Greg Anthony. Oh, good look. Red from Jordan. The Bulls again have a 9-point lead.
I guess sometimes when a player can come out and get 18 points in a quarter, you pay special attention. You forget about the other guys a little bit.
Here's Mason. Rebound McDaniel. Now looking for a travel. Bulls lead 50-43, and being played at the Chicago Bulls temple. That's the first time that has occurred this series.
Yes, it's 7th game. Everybody's just excited. It's the excitement more than anything else.
Michael Jordan a moment ago with the ball is going to penetrate the lane. Somebody's got to step up and stop him. So the decision takes place behind him as to who's going to take Horace Grant. The result, nobody takes him. Grant with the deuce.
So Michael Jordan doing it with his offense and also the beautiful lead pass thrown to Horace Grant. Last foul on Joe Wilkins, his third, and he's replaced by John Starks. So now Starks will take a crack at Jordan. Angle for Starks. 3:20 remaining in the half. Bulls with the ball and a 7-point lead. Pippen passing on the three. Hits the two. And he is 4 of 4 for 9 points. The Bulls lead 52-43. And the Knicks want to talk it over.
It took Pippen 6 games to finally hit back, and he's starting to hit back because he's feeling good right now. The Bulls are leading.
Shot clock at 5. 2:45 remaining in the first half. Pippen with the score. Here's Jordan. Biggest lead of the game. It's Chicago by 11.
In previous games, New York has been in similar situations. Wiley's taking a timeout. They come out, respond, get a basket or 2 free throws, close the gap. Here, a critical turnover. It continues to widen the lead.
Starks with an air ball. Ewing for Starks. Shot clock at 1. Jackson. Mark Jackson with the shot clock running down. Able to hit. The Bulls lead 54-45. For the first time this season, first time this series, we are seeing the Chicago Bulls that we saw right throughout the regular season. 3-second violation called on Chicago. This is a Bulls club that set a franchise record, winning 67, losing 15. They won 36 of 41 here at home. They come off the NBA championship season of a year ago, capped off by the victory over the Los Angeles Lakers, swept Miami in the first round of the playoffs, but they have had a very difficult time against the surprising New York Knicks club.
Well, Mark, I think that if anybody read Peter Vessey's column, our own NBC Peter Vessey, Tuesday, I think he summed it up best, where he said that the Bulls quite don't know how to play physical and still be a finesse team, much like the Lakers and the Celtics of the 80s. Their team, when they were challenged and played physical, we knew how to play physical but still played our game at the same time. Where in this series, Chicago, for the first time today, is finally playing physical but still playing finesse at the same time. I thought that was an interesting comment.
You realize how much credibility you have just given to Vessey? This is very sad.
I didn't mean to do it.
Okay.
But I thought that summed this whole series up, that article. It was just right on the head.
And going back to your Laker team, that team had great flexibility to be able to play a little of both. It's not like you can push a button or all of a sudden say 12 guys and say, we're going to be finesse or we're going to be physical. You have to structure it to what the players' abilities are, capabilities are.
That last foul on Conrad is third, so he's replaced by Will Perdue. Will Perdue very active in Game 6 against the Knicks. Got into a little scrap at the end of the game. Michael Jordan. He now has 29 points. And the Bulls lead 56-46.
Just by Grant jumping on the basketball after a score by Chicago that preventing New York from racing it back up.
Ewing.
You know, I think in the second half, they're going to have to, the Knicks, Pat Riley's going to have to change his strategy. Well, right now he's got man-to-man coverage on Michael, and he's posting. And I think he's going to have to go down and double team him in the second half.
It's a last resort in New York's game plan. Try to play him straight up, even if he gets on a little roll.
Rare miss for Jordan. 10 of 15 for the field. Starks digging hard. Won't count, says Jake O'Donnell. Will not get the continuation. Starks foul.
Now imagine going back to that philosophy in New York to play him straight up. That's not to say that as you progress in the game and get to the third quarter and then the fourth quarter and then the final 5 minutes that you don't make your adjustments and your changes.
Well, right now you're seeing in New York a different Michael Jordan. Here today, a stronger Michael Jordan, and a Michael Jordan who has, I think, adjusted to the 6 games and say, okay, in the 7th game, they've been doing this for 6 games, but in this game, I'm going to do this. Where he's posting and turning in the lane, and actually all he's doing is jumping over Stark. He's doing nothing else but doing that, and I think we're going to have to run a man, and maybe when he gets in the lane.
Who's committed the foul to put Starks on the line. Picked up his third. He's replaced by Craig Hodges. Incidentally, the NBA playoff record, most points in a half, 39 by Eric Sleepy Floyd. Jordan has 29. There's Grant, changed his mind. Jordan and Ewing able to reach out for him. We're down to 25 seconds left in the half. The Knicks down by 7.
Even with the excitement, this crowd, and what Chicago and Jordan have done, if New York scores, you're looking right at a 5-point game. New York's got to feel pretty good.
And Jackson hit on the reach-in. So Mark Jackson to the line. He was fouled by Craig Hodges. Jackson to the line for the first time. Earlier today here on NBC, the Cavaliers knocked off the Celtics 122-104 to take the series in 7. They await the winner between the Knicks and the Bulls. Brad Daugherty capping off a terrific series with 27 points, 9 rebounds. Hot Rod Williams at 20. Reggie Lewis led Boston with 22. 22nd timeout is being taken by the Knicks. Winchester, second-year player from Everett College, had shot for Houston and Boston. Winchester in there because of some Knick foul trouble. Jackson will shoot his second. 11 seconds to go. First half. The lottery coming up at halftime. And so it is only a 5-point Chicago lead. They do have one foul to give. There it is. And a good foul because now the Bulls will have to regroup. And down again with 6 seconds on the clock.
And that's the reason also for the substitution in case it got into the hands of the guy guarding Pippen. Has to stay away. Don't fall asleep. He'll chase it.
Final second. Jordan swinging free and missed on the floater.
Oh yeah, I did forget about a guy named Jordan.
So Michael Jordan with 29 points. And the Chicago Bulls. Ewing with 14, Mike Jackson with 10, Michael Jordan leading Chicago with 29 points. Is high in this series. He had a 37-point game in Game 5. His all-time playoff high, you recall, 63 points. Ewing rebounded by Jordan. There's Pippen.
The one thing that New York has done, stop the spectacular play, stop the dunks that get the crowd excited, stop the fast break lob passes. Already the first one here in the second half.
Wilkins wide open. Good box out by Grant. Jordan and Jackson at the guards. Grant, Cartwright, and Pippen up front. Will Jackson with his standard starting lineup. Knicks also go with their usual starting 5. The down by the third. Jackson laid out the switch. Daniel. Cartwright. Foul. Count.
A few moments ago, Chicago got out You cannot let Chicago creep away little by little. Cartwright, the concentration to follow through, and now the opportunity to finish the three-point play. One more score. Riley takes a quick timeout.
Yeah, you know what drives coaches crazy is when big men reach in and get fouls like that. That drives coaches crazy.
Ewing with 2 fouls. Bulls by 9, and they're called for an illegal defense. Called for the first time. Knicks were hit with one earlier.
Scottie Pippen got caught just a little bit down below that foul line area, and the illegal defense is called.
Daniel intercepted by Grant, recovered by Jackson. Check the 24. Jackson from downtown. Oh, this is a tough call. Hugh Holland's right there. And he says last touch by the Bulls. So the Knicks maintain possession.
You know, sometimes coaches talk about scrambling on defense. Well, right now, the Bulls are scrambling. That means that you're active. That means that you don't really know where you might be on the next pass, but somebody better get there quick and then cover for your teammate, and he covers for you. And that's what Chicago's doing so well right now. Scrambling and covering for each other.
Xavier McDaniel with 10 points. The Bulls 60. And the Knicks 53.
Well, their rotation is very good. The Chicago Bulls defensive rotation is very good.
Shot clock at 5. Jordan swinging. It will be Nick Ball. Michael Jordan has missed his last 4 field goal attempts.
We talked about they had to do something different with Michael. They double teamed him that time, and X-Man made him shoot an air ball. And so you see Riley coming out of the second half, and a shot by Ewing right there. Good pass by Mark Jackson too, the same. But they are changing their defense on the red block.
5-point Chicago lead. Pippen will inbound. Jordan working off the pick. And Wilkins able to hustle it down.
To show you the toughness, the mental toughness that this Knicks team has, a lot of teams would have gone away by now. 7th game in the stadium. They make the run over in Chicago, but no, not New York. Right back here after Ewing knocks out the jumper, and a 3, and a timeout call by Chicago.
So the Knicks are within 3. 3 minutes gone by in this third quarter. 6 unanswered
In the transition game, New York has done a pretty good job of eliminating or minimizing those transition scores.
Bulls with a 3-point lead. They've led by as many as 11. Shot clock to 5. Now to 1. Jackson. Oh, that's a crusher because the Knicks defensive sequence made it very difficult for the Bulls.
So Pat Riley can live with that. You know, you play excellent defense and made a jumper. Okay, that's all right.
Ewing, rebounded by Pippen. Jackson in the open floor, gets it back. And a foul. Jordan was hit on the drive by Ewing. That's 3 on Ewing.
This is the initial phase, that attack phase in the fast break. Get the ball out in front, get those first 3 people down the floor. Pippen to Paxson to Jordan. The first 3 filling, the foul by Ewing.
Michael Jordan 9 for 9 from the line, 83% free throw shooter during the season. 30 points for Michael. 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. 7th final game of the Eastern Conference Semifinal series. Series tied at 3. The winner goes on to face the Cleveland Cavaliers in the conference final. The winner there goes to the NBA championship round. Off the double team. Foul call. They tried to trap Jackson and succeeded, but Paxson called for the contact.
And a little different look that time. They waited till New York got over the half-court line. Then they come with a 6'10" power forward to trap Jackson along with Paxson. Not a real clean look that time for Mark Jackson.
That's 4 fouls on Paxson. Cartwright with a good play. Full inbound with 14 on the 24.
See, Mark Jackson has to take that ball maybe 2 more dribbles down, and then Patrick Ewing would have had a dunk if he could have delivered the ball.
Jackson. Daniel. His pass picked off by Grant. Ewing jumping on Pippen. That's caught right open for an instant. Here's Pippen. Bulls has to reset it. He stepped out. Will be New York ball.
New York bouncing right back with another outstanding defensive sequence, producing the turnover, the baseline drive, and the foot touches the line. Great call by Jake O'Donnell.
He's the best in the business, you know, but right now, he's not, in the first half, in the first quarter, we had a real fast pace. Now this pace is the New York pace. It's a slowdown game. There's a lot of turnovers, and it's going to a walk now. And when it goes to a walk, it favors New York. They love this type of pace.
Wilkins able to recover. He's fouled. Grant going for the rejection. Call for his second.
Joe Wilkins took a look, saw that lane open up for a second. It's almost like he said, let me hurry up and get to the rim before I close it back down. This is my chance to do what I do best, become a driving, slashing type player.
Wilkins making his first appearance at the line. He's hit 2 of 6 from the field. Picked up the early fouls. Went to the back. Stocks came on and played well. Harold turning it around after the difficult time the first 3 games of the series.
Well, I think what he was a guy worrying about Michael Jordan too much in the first 3 games. In the last 3 games, he was a guy just saying, okay, I know I have to play Michael Jordan, but I'm going to also make Michael play on the offensive end, and that's why his game has escalated.
Actually, over the course of recent seasons, Wilkins done a decent job against Michael Jordan. And the reason is he's occupied Jordan early in games. Jordan has had to defend against Wilkins. Here's Pippen with the screen shot. Ewing had it knocked away. Grant with the steal. Well, Ewing lost it because he was casual with the rebound. Paxson. Trying to see it off the dribble, and it's tipped home. Michael Jordan soaring for the tip. He has 32. Bulls lead 65-57. Foul called on Ewing. Offensive foul. That's his 4th.
But a moment ago, this is what got the crowd going. When the shot goes up, Michael Jordan is going to come flying in and tip it and dunk it. You got to keep a body. Then when New York goes back down, Ewing tries to clear space with that arm. Offensive foul call.
Right now, Pat Riley staying with Patrick Ewing. John Stocks has replaced Darryl Wilkins. Anthony Mason getting set to come on, so Ewing will sit down. Here's Jordan. What a feed from that! But he stepped out. He came from out of bounds, and the basket does not count.
Before that, Michael Jordan was not begging for it, but demanding the basketball, and 2 of his guys did not give him the ball down low on John Starks, and he was upset at them and telling them about it on the way down the court.
Right now, New York is going to go to its baseline screen series. Starks the 2-man either screens from McDaniel or for Patrick Ewing when he's in the game. Try to post up McDaniel initially.
Jordan going for the steal. Deflected it out. So Patrick Ewing sitting down after picking up his 4th. Anthony Mason now in front with Charles Oakley. Xavier McDaniel. So Oakley at the center position. Here's Jackson. There's a three-point attempt. Starks gets it back. Jackson had it knocked away, and he's fouled. If it's Paxson, it's number 5. And it is. 5 fouls committed by John Paxson, and he'll be replaced by B.J. Armstrong.
Marv, this is a critical part of the game for the New York Knicks. Very critical, because Patrick Ewing is down. That's 20-something points on the bench. Now, they're going to have to find out who is going to be the guy to make up those points, who can keep us in the ball game until we can get Patrick back.
Although in this series, when Ewing has been sidelined, the Knicks have done exceptionally well. And a holding foul on the ball. That is their 4th team foul. Second on Pippen.
Next man, the guy they're trying to post up, that's the score they want to go to right now. But in the double team, you see the grab of the wrist.
Jordan got a piece of that shot from Starks. Double pump. McDaniel blocked. Here's Oakley. He's blocked and fouled. But you have to like the Chicago defense. 3 blocked shots in that one possession.
Well, you think you got it. Here comes Forrest Grant. I'm going to block your shot. Here comes Oakley. He said, okay, I got it. No, here comes Grant again. Boy, this is 7-game playoff basketball at its best right now. Good defense on both sides of the court.
Foul on Pippen. His 3rd. Oakley has hit 2 of 2 from the line. Chicago with 6 blocked shots.
You know, most times block shots take place from a defensive player away from the actual ball. It's a guy helping out, a guy rotating over. Not too many times you get a straight-up block from the guy you're guarding. And Chicago, with Grant, Pippen, and Jordan flying all over the court. I mean, when you go to shoot it, you have to have eyes behind your head before you let it go.
Exactly.
The ball 65, the Knicks 59. We're just under 5 minutes remaining. 3rd quarter. Mike Albert, Eddie Bertello, Patrick Johnson, Ahmad Rashad from Chicago. Backdoor pass deflected out by the Knicks.
You know what, Bob? I don't like that with Cartwright going back there. Right now, you got Oakley on it. Hey, take Oakley. He's too small to handle Bill Cartwright. Cartwright should be more offensive-minded. Now they take Cartwright out. Well, now it's an even Steven game now. So I thought maybe they should have left him in to go at Oakley.
Well, Stacey King has come on for Bill Cartwright. King missed the first 2 games of the series with the flu. Sat out Thursday night with a bad throw. Here's Jordan. Splitting through. Jordan with the steal. And then it's stolen by Starks. McDaniel chased by Jordan. It's a clean block.
Whose game is it? It's Michael Jordan's game. And that's why Magic said before, he was demanding the basketball from his teammates. He knows right now he's got it, he feels it, he splits the potential trap, and then after scoring, comes right back with a terrific defensive play. Brutal.
Last cut by Starks. That was one of the most remarkable sequences that you will see. Michael Jordan doing it in every phase of the game. First the bucket, then the steal, then he lost it, and then he's able to hustle back and come up with the rejection. Knicks have missed the last 6 field goal attempts. We come up on 4 minutes to go. In the 3rd, Bulls lead 67-59. Shot clock running down. One downtown. And the Knicks call for time.
New York Knicks, the 2 days off, recharged his battery, his energy level is up.
Chicago in the midst of a 10-2 run. They go to pressure. Obviously, Pat Riley feels this is the ball game right here. He has sent Patrick Ewing back onto the floor with the 4 fouls.
Yes, this is it. 7th game. This is for everything. I mean, you got to play him right now.
Here's Starks. He was hit by Jordan. Yes, so it counts. And he gets the call on the continuation. So Starks will go to the line. That is the first foul charge to Michael Jordan.
Well, you couldn't ask for anything better. You have to go back with Ewing because the game is on the line now. You win or lose it right here. And Starks comes out of the timeout. You want to deuce? How about a chance to get 3 if Starks converts the free throw? All of a sudden, the deficit back below double digits once again.
The Knicks have not scored a field goal in 5 minutes and 12 seconds prior to that bucket by John Starks. You recall, game 6 Thursday night, the Knicks opening up with a 13-0 run in the fourth quarter against the Bulls. They went 6-10 without scoring at all.
If you're Chicago, right now, you got to be saying inside your head, you know what? These guys don't go away. We keep looking up at the board and they're still there.
Hey, it's a lot of times, a lot of basketball be played still.
Here's Jordan with the pull-up. Air ball, recovered by Pippen. And Jake O'Donnell, very emphatic about his call, says loose ball foul on Starks. 13th foul committed by the Knicks. For each Knicks player, this is clearly the biggest game of their NBA career. For the Bulls, their most significant game since they faced Detroit in Game 7 2 years ago and lost to the Pistons. Pippen knocked away by Jackson.
And as soon as Pat Riley saw that Ewing wound up on Pippen, he called for a double-team defense and he had to get the ball out of Pippen's hands, afraid that Ewing would pick up his 5th foul.
Shot clock, 8. Jordan for King. Rebounded by Grant. Yes, Horace Grant has come up with a number of enormous baskets.
Well, in the first 6 games, New York did not allow Chicago offensive rebounds. In this game right here, offensive rebound. Here you see Grant coming in strong, and he goes right back up with a nice finger roll move. Got fouled. Strong move by Horace Grant.
Mason called on the foul. Bulls now lead 72-62, just under 3 minutes. Third quarter. Ewing facing the double team. It starts. Illegal defense call for the second time against Chicago. So Knicks will go to the line and do the technical. Charles Oakley will return. Anthony Mason starts to the line. He will shoot the tee. He is 2 of 3 from the foul line. John Starks, the man who played at 4 colleges in 4 years. Back in 88-89, he appeared in 36 games for Golden State. Had stints in the CBA and the USBL. Emerged last year as a valuable member of the Knicks and has really come on this season.
No, that sounds like a man who really wanted to play in the NBA to me.
His itinerary very similar to Anthony Mason. Grant with the rejection. For Horace Grant, his 4th block shot. For the Bulls, their 7th rejection of the game. Oh, what a spin by Jordan!
You know, Marv, that time he spun away from the double team, caught Ewing coming at him, and went up underneath. Great move.
Grant with the steal. Michael Jordan with 36. He has shown the way. Second timeout called by Scottie Pippen. The Bulls lead it 74-62. Add this to the Michael Jordan.
Well, most of the time he's been coming to the middle. This time he fooled everybody, went baseline, and went up under for 2. The big thing here is how quickly he has to make a decision. Nobody in the middle. He takes a quick look, then comes back, avoids Ewing rotating over to try and block it, and then has the ability.
most points scored in a playoff game. Michael Jordan with 63. He did it back in April of '86 against the Boston Celtics. Elton Baylor had 61 against Boston back in '62. Jordan also with a 56 and a 55-point game. 36 thus far today. Shot clock running down. Grant has to it up. And 35 to go in the third. The Bulls lead by 12. It represents their biggest lead. Here's Ewing. What's the shot? And last touch by the Knicks.
You know, Kyle, I know he's got to get shots in Ewing, but the team they have out there on the floor for the Bulls, nobody on their team can guard him down low. And if you Pat Riley, you probably like to see him down low right now to take advantage of his height, different over team.
Well, earlier in the series, Pat Riley sent the message he wants Patrick Ewing's head as he put him under the basket. At times he would drift outside. He does have a good touch. But Ewing has settled for jump shots once again. There's not been a force in the game this afternoon. He has 18 points, but his presence has not been felt. Pippen with the rebound. 2-on-1. Armstrong for King.
Well, when they get numbers and get out on the fast break, they have the ability to see, pass, convert, and King, who has been sick, has missed practices, not able to play in the last couple of games, back today, and he's happy about it. He's sure.
You know, the thing that I see here is that the muscle game, the hard foul game, has not occurred today. It hasn't been a factor for the New York Knicks. And with that being a factor, you can see Chicago is able to play their game. The fancy three, dunk, a lot of layups.
It's more of the open floor game that the Bulls love to play. Patrick Ewing cuts it to a 77-64. Chicago lead. Getting back to the subject of Stacey King, he has been very effective when he's played the Knicks. Earlier this year when Bill Cartwright was out with a broken left hand, King started at center against the Knicks and did very well. Gives Chicago a different dimension center. That's bucket 2. Now 1. Armstrong. Another big bucket for B.J. Armstrong. 3 seconds to go. Third quarter. Starks gets it down. Wilkins gets it off. After 3 in Chicago, led by Michael Jordan, who has scored 36. The Bulls with their biggest lead, not only of the game, but of this series. Bulls 79, the Knicks 64. We'll be back after these messages. Our series in 7. They'll face the winner between the Knicks and Chicago in the NBA draft lottery earlier today. Orlando won the #1 selection, followed by Charlotte, Minnesota, and then Dallas and Denver, and so on. But Pat Williams and Orlando just delighted as they came up with the #1 selection in the lottery. It is a 15-point Chicago lead as we open up in this fourth quarter. Foul committed by John Starks. His fourth. Let's go about.
Now, just some comments from Shaquille O'Neal, who watched the draft lottery with his agent in Brentwood. He was calm throughout the whole thing, and when the announcement came, he had a smile because his former LSU teammate Stanley Roberts played there. He's relieved that it's over, and he was flattered by the comments made by Pat Williams of the Magic, and he views the organization as a classes one. Marv?
Mark. Yes, I would think he does view it as a very classy organization with a very nice contract to follow. It's Jordan, and he stopped. He thought he was fouled. Knicks on a rare fast break, but the Bulls got back. Here's Ewing over King. Yes.
Marv, that's what I was talking about. We got to go to that matchup right now for New York. If they're going to get back in this game, Patrick Ewing is going to be the man who's going to lead them back.
And the other thing, man, in the third quarter, when you talk about points in the paint down low, Chicago 14, New York only 6.
And the Knicks with only 13 points in the third quarter. They were outscored 23-13. Oakley called for his second foul. Chicago ended the third quarter outscoring the Knicks by the margin of 19-7.
And Chicago ending the third quarter with 79 points. Their highest previous total at the end of 3 quarters twice. They've had 71 in this series against New York. So being 8 up on that, it looked like Chicago was playing in style and more up-tempo game.
Not to get off the basketball game here, though. I wonder how Steele going to feel when he asked for the $6.5 million. Is he going to still feel that Orlando is a classy organization?
When they say no?
Yeah.
Bulls 81 and the Knicks 66.
The new arena is under construction to increase the seating capacity into the playoff.
Knicks in a three-guard alignment. Ewing bottled up. The defensive job of Horace Grant very much a major part of the success story for the Bulls here this afternoon. Now, a foul called on the Bulls.
You know, what happens is right here, Horace Grant went up to block the shot. Ewing went to pass it, and he knocked it away from him. You know, some guys' games are measured by points or stats. Horace Grant's game cannot be measured by stats or points.
And there's one guy I know who's particularly happy with the performance. That's Johnny Bach, assistant coach with Chicago, who was in the hospital. Just had an angioplasty done a couple days ago. Feeling better. I spoke with him last night. And Grant is his personal, that's his guy. That's his warrior, he calls. He's taken him under his wing and pays extra special attention to him.
Yes, Johnny Bach and Horace Grant have had a very close relationship over the years. Patrick Ewing only 8 for 20 from the field, getting quality shots in the second half. Wilkins with the box out. Starks, Wilkins, and now Anthony. A three-guard setup. Daniel. King with the rebound.
King, a good job of boxing out on the defensive board. Ewing had no chance at all of getting to it, so he just had to turn and run back down the other end.
Here's Pippen. Pat Riley very upset. He felt there should have been a charge on Pippen. That was one of those no harm, no foul calls. And Ewing tried to pick up the foul against Pippen, and no call was made.
And I think Pat's point there is, look, we've heard about all this complaining about the hard fouls that we take. When we play good defense, don't try to hurt anybody, step in and take a charge, then call it.
Of a moment, Miller Genuine Grant donates $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. The Bulls lead 83-66. The pass could not be handled by Ewing. Frank Hodges has checked back in, as has Scott Williams, and the Bulls go with a three-guard alignment.
Yeah, New York now understanding that the clock is against them. They need points on the board. They got a small team in there trying to force some turnovers, get some quickness on the floor, and get down and get some shots up.
Foul on Xavier McDaniel. A reminder, those ghosts, murder mysteries, and then NBC brings you a motion picture event based on the #1 best seller. Cooled Out, starring Ed Asner, Mike Danner, Dennis Farina. That's coming your way tonight here on NBC. Michael Jordan with 40 points. The Bulls lead 85-66, and a blocking foul charge to Armstrong.
This has probably been his easiest 40 points that he has gotten probably against the Knicks The shots have come in different ways, drives, but most of them have come in posting up, turning in the lane, and beating his man. So Michael Jordan is really on top of his game, and I thought he would be.
Oh, what a shot by John Starks. Off balance, able to hit. Starks with 13. Bulls lead 85-68.
Has all the talk about Starks where he should have been ejected for the foul against Pippen in the last game, has that taken the edge off of New York's defense? Have they not delivered some of the blows that they did in the first 6 games?
I think all the talk in the paper, you know, everybody now coming here to Chicago saying it's football, it's this and that. I think they came out maybe thinking, well, we better not get into that type of game. But see, that was the wrong attitude because you play the game that has got you this far. And today they didn't play that type of game because Michael's had, what, 6 or 7 layups today.
This game has seen only one rough moment. Foul given by Wilkins off that spin by Jordan. He did have the double technical on McDaniel and Jordan. Earlier, both teams came together, but that basically has been it. As you mentioned, there really haven't been any severe fouls that have been given up.
You know, as you watch what's taking place out here today, we've heard about the beautiful flow and movement of the Chicago offense, and then last year we used to hear about how the LA Laker offense was so stagnant. It was just Magic going down and making decisions. Well, I see Jordan down there making a lot of decisions. Looks kind of similar.
Bill Cartwright extending to an 87-68 lead. 7:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Wilkins. And the foul, a hold on Jordan, who does not like the call.
Well, he felt that Ewing grabbed him instead of like the referee thought that he grabbed Ewing. Here it is right here. See, Ewing grabbed Michael in the back of the jersey and said, get out of here. You don't belong down here with the big men.
And let's remember, Michael does have one technical on already. The next one, he's in the locker room early.
I don't think today.
You think they maybe remember that, right?
Oh, Armstrong and Starks want to go at each other. B.J. Armstrong pointing in the direction of John Starks. That's number 5 on Starks. Now here's how this developed. Let's take a look.
BJ trying to take away the path under the basket, so Starks changes direction and throws BJ down to the floor. You know what? Everybody wants to pick on BJ. He looks like he's 12 years old out there on the floor.
I asked Scottie Pippen before the game, would he attempt to deal a payback to Starks for that flagrant foul the other day. With a two-pointer, and the Bulls just rolling it up. Well, Pippen said he would not get involved early, but if it's a blowout, he said he might be looking for Starks. 6:48 remaining in the fourth. That's what I said. I guess he had a movie locally, and he wanted to see a big ball game.
I wonder if he'd give Coach Patello a part in that new movie.
What part would you like him to give? Is it a monster movie? Starks not able to hit. Rebounded by Cartwright. The Knicks with only 17 points in the second half. They had 13 in the third quarter. 6:25 remaining in the fourth. Cleveland Cavaliers waiting in the wings, defeating Boston earlier today off the script. Anthony, going to get it down. Here's Wilkins. That's a two-point shot for Gerald Wilkins. Put on the line. Michael Jordan indicating, let's settle down here. Big lead, but you never know. It's a 19-point advantage, but much time remaining. To a pass for Grant.
You still have to be on the attack mode. That's what Michael was saying. Let's slow it down, but we still got to attack. You know, I think the Chicago Bulls want to blow them out to just prove a point to the New York Knicks.
And also perhaps to the rest of the NBA looking on and seeing that the Bulls could be vulnerable after they have been extended to 7 games by the Knicks.
I think that teams feel a little better now. Like Cleveland, I feel better playing against them now. But have the personnel to play the same type of game off of New York, but they have better offensive players.
Armstrong off the break. So the Bulls open up a 93-70 lead as we come up on 5 minutes remaining, fourth quarter.
It's got to be one of the worst feelings when you know it's bad and it's getting worse and there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
Foul committed by Jordan. Mark Jackson returns, replacing Rick Anthony.
Well, how many times in this series have you seen the Chicago Bulls run out this easy and not be contested on layups? Not too often.
Well, it's the biggest game, the most important game. It just hasn't happened for the Knicks in terms of fouls and what the Knicks did to the Bulls have done to the Knicks today. Team defense, they've rebounded the ball, and they got some easy layups because of those two factors.
Michael Jordan came out asserting himself. The Bulls shooting just under 59% for the game. The crowd bidding the Knicks goodbye with 4:55 remaining in the fourth quarter. Foul call on the Knicks. It's called on Ewing. That is his fifth. Horace Grant will go to the line. Horace Grant in his fifth season out of Clemson, usually among the leaders in shooting percentage, and has come up with a very strong performance. See the Band-Aid, that is the result of one of many Knick blows that were dealt during the course of this series.
Well, at 4 different times during this 7-game series, the game has had to be stopped by the officials because one of the Bulls players, and it's been 4 different ones, have been cut an open wound. They had to stop the game.
Starks from downtown, and Armstrong gets to it. 4.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. Knicks shooting only 38% this afternoon. Pippen by Wilkins.
Well, first of all, Michael Jordan with the cotton trying to stop his bloody nose, and then Pippen was cut across the chin, so they had to get him straightened out. And then the cut on the back of John Paxson's arm, and then Grant showing the doc that, look, I'm scratching, it's bleeding over here. I mean, Chip Schaefer could come away with the big trophy at the end of this series for the most valuable person.
They were not only be happy that the New York Knicks are gone, but they will welcome a good night's sleep finally. Because they haven't been sleeping good because they thought this was going to be an easy series, and it's turned out to be opposite that.
They may wake up once or twice and one more night just thinking they got to face it again.
Well, a Knicks victory over Chicago in this series would have ranked as McDaniel hits on the reverse stuff. And here's it from the crowd. Had the Knicks been able to pull off the upset, it would have ranked arguably as the biggest upset in NBA playoff history. The reason that this is a Knicks club that won 51 games, but a Knicks team that faltered in the final weeks. They blew the Atlantic Division by losing 5 of the last 8 games, so Boston was able to win it. They were red hot at the end. They had very few wins over the elite teams. They were dominated by the likes of Chicago and Cleveland and Boston. McDaniel was fouled. And they faced a defending champion Chicago Bulls team that had gone 67-15. They roared through the regular season.
But you know what, Mars, no matter what has happened here today, they have a lot to build on the Knicks for next season. Pat Riley and his whole staff, as well as the players, could feel happy about being here in a 7th game that got New York City back in the New York Knicks once again. And so this has been great for them. This is really their season right now.
What they've done, Riley, the staff, the players, and upper management, they've restored law and order, and the franchise is definitely now back heading in the positive direction that they all understand. You need to have that same common everything to make it work and ultimately reach the championship. And that's what it's all about.
And I think that the Knicks staff, headed by New York Knicks president Dave Checketts, well aware that there are still moves that have to be made. I don't think they fooled themselves by the fact that the Knicks knocked off Detroit. They take Chicago to a 7th game. They know there is a dire need for outside shooting. Jordan. And the call of last touch by the Knicks. You know, there was one stretch this season with the Knicks chugging along on top of the Atlantic Division that if you put Pat Riley or Dave Checketts or Ernie Grunfeld of the Knicks staff, there's Jordan. Michael Jordan with 42 points. If you put them on truth serum, they would say that aside from Patrick Ewing, they would trade that night the rest of the starting team. That's how far this club has come, and that really represents Starks hits the three-pointer. What a remarkable job was accomplished by Pat Riley.
No, what's remarkable to me is that you know the effects of this truth serum and what it would do to these individuals to make a statement like that they're going to trade the other 11 guys from this team. That's what's amazing to me. Remarkable.
Well, you know, I didn't say 11. I said the other starters.
Oh, starters.
You know, when you have the magic elixir, you can do anything.
Well, talent-wise, you know, they didn't win these 3 games against the Bulls on talent. They won it on hustle, heart, and hard play. That's how they won the 3 games. And so what the Knicks saying, hey, we need some more skilled players, a shooter, maybe a guy that can go one-on-one. If they get those guys, everybody in the East better watch out.
And this crowd providing a standing ovation.
That last game and the other game, Michael Jordan is averaging over 40 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers during the regular season. And so if you say 115 to 100 and add 40 points, that's 140. So it would have been 5-0. So that's Cleveland's main problem is Michael Jordan.
Here's Grant. Not quite one count, 54-second violation. I guess Michael doesn't look worn down. That was the feeling coming into today's game, but he has erupted as Scottie Pippen, who has come up with a triple-double, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Armstrong. B.J. Armstrong has been a major factor. Michael Jordan sitting it out the rest of the way, finishes with 42 points on 15 of 29 on the floor. So the ball flowing out the Knicks to win game number 7. We're now to a minute 28 with a true story of a shocking family murder. The book, the current #1 bestseller. That's tonight, right here on NBC. Crowd applauding the efforts of Horace Grant. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 block shots.
But my question right now is, Jordan's out, Grant's out. With Pippen's ankle the way it is, I don't take a chance right now. Pippen's on the bench. This game is over. Long way to go yet for another championship. Get him out of the game before something happens that shouldn't happen.
This is still a bitter rivalry, and if he goes to the basket or something, they're going to still slam him to the ground. I'm with you on that one, because you remember, you got 1 day in between the game. Tuesday comes in 2 days, so get him on the bench, and the game is over, and you have a good night. And I don't know if he's trying to save him for an ovation or what, but he should be on the bench right now.
And it is another standing ovation for the Chicago Bulls. 33 seconds remaining. Starks. Call for the foul.
You know, we've paid tribute to the New York Knicks and Pat Riley, the job they've done, and they've established it with rebounding and great defense. But let's not forget this Chicago Bulls team, and all we talked about last year on the way to the finals and the championship was this great defense that they had, this scrambling, pressing, trapping defense that forced turnovers and then easy scores, and 79 points on the board right now for New York. I think they made a defensive statement today.
Well, what they found out in this series is that winning back-to-back is not going to be easy for them. This is 7-game series. The next series might be 7. And whoever they play in the finals is going to give them all they want to if they get that spot. So what all this is going to make them is a stronger team, I believe, in the next round against Cleveland. So, yeah, I go off to the Chicago Bulls on a game where they needed their stars. Pippen and Jordan came through, but I think the unsung hero here was Grant, who did all the little things, all the nasty things that go unwritten about.
Bernard Winchester hitting that jump shot for the Knicks to make it 106-81, and the Bulls just running it down as they hear it from the crowd. A three-pointer to conclude matters. Bulls 109, Knicks 81. And players come together here in the final seconds, only 8/10 of a second remains. And Livingston to the line.
This is something here. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in this series next season, because it's going to be a war in the regular season with these two teams. You know, I wonder if Oakley and Jordan going to be his closest friends in the summertime after this series.
Well, the two teams do shake hands as they head back to their respective locker rooms. The Chicago Bulls have defeated the New York Knicks 110-81 to take this grueling series in 7. The Bulls move on to face the Cavaliers. The series